Board. All right, so if you're just popping in, I'm going to stick the link in the chat one more time to the presentation. I am probably not going to screen share this morning because I want to be able to see you guys as well. That's the only thing I don't like about sharing my screen. I'm just working with one monitor today. So we'll go ahead and get started since I kind of messed up the link this morning. And I apologize for that. Our agenda for today on slide 2, it looks like everybody's starting to pop on to the presentation. If for some reason you can't get to the presentation, let me know. I have a bit.ly for that as well. But like I said, you'll need the links in this presentation this morning. So our agenda for today, a little bit of housekeeping, a little virtually together activity to introduce everybody. And then we're going to talk about some health and PE Jamboard ideas that you can use in your classroom. You may already be familiar with Jamboard. I'll be the first to admit it was not my favorite tool up until like the last 2 weeks. So I learned some new tips and tricks, and we're going to share some of that with you guys today. And then some resource and integration ideas. Time for you guys to share and talk about how you could use that in your classroom. So housekeeping. The Nisus link is on that document that you got the join link from, so make sure you go ahead and get registered. As soon as we finish the session, we usually meet and download the attendance and get you guys marked so that we don't forget. Feel free to unmute, interrupt me, and I would love to see your face. I love seeing the cameras on. There is the presentation bit.ly. It is all capital STEM, lowercase n, capital PE. And Callaghan, remember to hit record, which I did. All right, so we are going to do a virtually together activity. So if you will click on the link on slide 4, and it is going to open up a Jamboard. Check my chat real quick, make sure everybody's good. And I'm Jennifer Callaghan. I didn't even introduce myself. I have not met some of you all before. I am the STEM coach at CC Griffin and Central Cabarrus High School. CC Griffin had a last-minute staff meeting called about Plan A this morning, so none of my PE and health teachers are on the call, so I'm having to record it to send it to them. So just have to roll with the punches. All right, chat looks good. So on that Jamboard, if you will, look at the blob tree and pick out a blob that you can relate to this morning or maybe even this year, and you are going to add a sticky note over on the left and put your name, the blob number, and describe why you are currently doing that way and why. I'll give everybody a couple minutes. I know how I feel this morning after messing up the link.
Coach's office. Yeah, you go back to the email, click the link, when it opens back up, hit refresh, and then go in. Yeah. All right.
And then you guys, after you save yours and put it in there, you may have to hit refresh to see everyone else's as they filter them through. So I went with number 21 because I jacked up the join link after double checking it 5,000 times, I feel like, this week. I still managed to jack it up. Ray, just trying to hang in there and finish the year strong. Where's number 7 there? I like it. Hanging on to the tree. Heather, number 7, hanging on. Oh, you're number 7 too. Learning new things and trying to stay positive. Absolutely. Wait for a few more people.
I got a couple coming in here in a second.
Okay. Number 9, going with the flow and being flexible. Oh, I like that, swinging from the tree. Yeah, drawing a little arrow there. I like that. Guess you can create a new blob with the draw tool now that they've added that in. All right, so just a little way for us to kind of get to know each other, lighten the mood. I had previously done this activity just to kind of segue into our Jamboard on a Google slide. I actually used it last week with a social studies group, and we had a Google slide and everybody had a box, and it got kind of confusing on the Google slide. And then after I made this presentation, I was like, you know what? We can so do this like straight up out of Jamboard. So all I did is I took the Google slide and copy it, pasted it into the Jamboard to use it that way, which we're going to talk a little bit about today. If you're joining a little late, I'm going to throw the link in the chat again. You will need the link to the presentation this morning. Good crowd on here today, guys. I love it. All right, so slide 5, let's kind of jump right in. So these are in no specific order, literally how I was going through the UBDs. So let me kind of explain the flow of the slides for kind of 5 through probably what, 10, 12. So I kind of segue. This is all health in the beginning. So for these, we're going to kind of walk through them together. You may be able to pick up some ideas from the other grade levels because I did notice your UBDs overlap quite a bit. So you may be able to steal some of these. I tried to look at the last unit of the year because I know a lot of you have planned in advance what you've got going on for the third unit. So I was trying to come up with something fresh for you guys. These are all just ideas. Again, interrupt me and ask questions. So that first anatomy link, when you open up, I set this jam. I wanted to be able to show you guys that you can set student jams for each student to make their own copy, or you could just set it like I did for our virtually blob activity where everybody can jump on. I think the sometimes frustrating thing when everyone is on is students can mess with each other's stickies. And so you kind of just have to think about, I guess, the purpose and the why behind what you're doing and if you wanted it to be individual small groups. So that will force a copy when you open it up. And what I did on this jam is, give it a minute to open up, guys. I just took one of the things that a health teacher at CCG told me is finding ways to do diagrams without the whiteboard, like trying to capture the whiteboard. And so what I did is I just pulled this off the UBD and screenshotted it and stuck it in a Jamboard. So what that does is the students can't move on frame 1. They can't move that picture around. They can move the purple box around on frame 1. But then they can go over and add their text boxes and label those diagrams. And then to turn it in, they can share it into Canvas for their link. So just a suggestion. Now, the other thing is I noticed there was already a presentation somewhere on that UBD with the Google slideshow. So what I did is I popped it in a Google slide. So frame 2, if you click the over arrow at the top, I screenshotted the whole Google slide and just set it. It took me like 2 seconds and set it as the background. So then they can't move the words, but they can still label the diagram. That's kind of what I did for that one. Now, if you are not familiar with Jamboard and how to do all of that, on slide 6 is how did you do that? And there is a quick video of me. You don't have to watch that right now. I'm going to give you some time to play in a minute. But I listed the instructions, and that's like a 1-minute how-to video on how you can do all that to set that up for your jam. Any questions about that one? Are you guys super familiar with Jamboard? It's hard to know from people what they've played with and what they haven't.
I've used it, but I didn't realize you just taught me a bunch of new stuff, though. So that's good.
That's awesome. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you some other things in just a minute. So it's hard to know when you're planning these. I know for me, I was familiar with it, but had no clue what it could do until last week. So trying to share the love. So to get to Jamboard, since some of you have never used it, you just go into your Google Drive, and where you would click new to make a new presentation. If you click more, then Jamboard is listed under more. So it's tied into everyone's G Suite. So that's pretty nice, including the students. So they already kind of know how to get there. All right. So I'm going to keep moving. Feel free to interrupt if you have questions. So slide 7 is just what I showed you on frame 2, that if you already have a slideshow and you're just wanting to mix it up a little bit and do something different, then you can just don't recreate the wheel, just screenshot your slide and stick it in there as the background. So we've kind of already been over slide 7. And that's just the existing slide I took a screenshot of on 8. So we're going to jump to 9. So this is for 7th grade and lack of sleep. So on slide 9, if you want to open up this jam, so I did not set this one to make a copy. This one is just everybody's going to be on the same jam, just to show you can do it a different way. And so when you join that one, what I kind of did was I found, I don't know if you're familiar with Canva. I've got some videos on the next slide on how you can do this in Canva. Definitely get familiar with it. I was not a Canva fan before this year, but now that I'm doing 800 infographics, I've become familiar. Educators still get the free access to the MacDaddy version, whatever the paid for version. So take advantage of that. If you go to canva.com and in the search bar select Google Jamboard template. Again, this was an eye opener. I had no clue this was even there till last week. I took a template and just put the lack of sleep problem and tweaked it. So this is now my background. And the students could, again, all together in a small group by themselves, whole group could add their sticky note or a text. They can even do images, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. So that's just another example of how you can use a template that's already out there for them to organize their ideas. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Pear Deck. It's just sometimes nice to mix it up every once in a while, especially on those asynchronous times when you want to give them something they can do on a Friday or, during that asynchronous work that they can do. And really, I thought you could have on this template, when I really started thinking about the lack of sleep problem, which I'm currently experiencing, you really could have causes and 3 effects. And on that Canva template, you could make 3 boxes for effects if you wanted to demonstrate that the effects are more than just one effect. Thought about that last night when I was marinating. So that is slide 9. So slide 10, how did you do that? So this is just going to walk you through. There's a quick how-to video again that I did on what that looks like. So basically just going to Canva and searching Google Jamboard templates is how I found that one. It was free. And then just tweaking the template. And I show you how to download it and get it in your jam in that video too. So for 7th grade, I really should have put these probably in order, 6th, 7th, 8th, but just wasn't thinking that way. For 7th grade, I did a storyboard idea I saw on the UBD about a fire escape plan. So what I did was create a storyboard that students could use. Again, this template is from Canva. So when you open up this jam, and I did them all just so you know as separate jams, you can take these and make a copy of them if you want to. So I wanted to do them separately in case you wanted to make a copy. I realize not everybody may have wanted that. Again, easy template. And I will show you how you can add images in a video on the next slide, but you can literally go, to give you some time to play, on the left, there is an image icon right underneath the sticky note. If you click on that image icon and up at the top, students can click on Google image search. I don't think this is blocked for them. And what I typed in my video was stick figures. So if they were wanting to do a fire escape plan, they could, all they have to do is stick their images in there. It may be filtered. I'm sure it is to some extent. So I will test that on a Chromebook when we get done to make sure. So they could do their fire escape plan, and underneath scene, they could type what their scene is showing. So I could stick a box here. I am running. I don't know. Just want to pick something. And you may have to hit refresh to see mine. So they could also do that as well on Google Jamboard. If they're very creative, they could actually do it in their Google Drive and do it on a Google Drawing and import it straight in as well. I didn't think about that until right now. I'm talking fast because I was late getting started and have all the goodness to show. So that is through slide 12. I did a video how you can add characters and scenes. You could share that with your students if you wanted to walk them through how to do it. Or I can make some additional videos. We'll talk about that at the end that you may want to upload for your students so that they know how to do it and you're not having to create those videos. I don't mind doing that as well. Any questions about any of the health slides? Is anyone marinating, if you want to share right quick, like how you could use this in health? Have any aha moments by any chance?
Well, we were just at Freeze, we're planning our reproductive health and safety, and so we were just talking about how to do a sort. So using that, we'll definitely use that with a Jamboard.
Yep. Yeah,
And
the
I
sort would be cool. You could even go ahead and do the stickies and they could just sort them.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And just have them force a copy of the jam and it would all be there. That's a good idea. And I'm going to give some other resources that'll show you how to do some of those things as well. So I'm going to keep rolling with it. 14, I was trying to get a little creative with PE. So for 7th grade PE, what I did was I was looking at the adapted lifetime activities for students with disabilities and the badminton assessment, which I guess for another, I think maybe 8th grade, the assessment's a little different, but I still used it as well. So I put this all on one jam. So again, a template from Canva. I'm telling you, it changed my life last week. And I just tweaked it. And you could, y'all know more about your content than I do, but my thought was on that first frame, they could evaluate their lifestyle choices and add a sticky for what they want to start, what they want to stop, and what they want to continue. So I thought it was kind of a neat way to assess their healthy personal lifestyle choices that they've got going right now. So they would just drag, and then if they did this as a group, my thinking was they could read other Jamboards and put stars by things, but that could be flexible on the template. Again, just set as a background from a template from Canva. And then on the second frame, what I did was the badminton assessment. Oh no, maybe this was still healthy lifestyles. I'm not sure. Well, we'll just keep going. I did something for team sports and lifetime activities. I saw where one of the things was kind of knowing the difference. So I thought a simple Venn diagram. I literally went to Google and searched Venn diagram and screenshotted the picture. Probably violated 800 copyright laws there. And then just stuck the words in there. So then students could kind of compare and contrast those things. Frame 4, same jam. I did where they could adapt the activity for someone, like a lifetime activity. They could list it, and then they could come up with a way to adapt that activity on the left for someone who is blind, deaf, a wheelchair, or other. I was trying to do 4, and I wasn't quite sure what other one you guys might would use. I thought they could get creative and do it in the other column. So then they could post those things in one of those columns. And then frame 4, same jam. Is the badminton assessment. And so went to the UBD, screenshotted it, stuck it in there, and then they could insert their name, their date, and explain why they chose those things on the Jamboard. So really, in thinking about this, you really could have a jam for a student, force a copy, and do several different tasks on the jam to turn it in. So really, I think you can have up to 20 frames. So if you wanted a student to have one Jamboard for say I don't want to say a whole unit, but for a longer period of time, that's their jam, then that would be an option too. So that was slide 14. Lots of information on that jam. Again, I know I'm flying. 15 is something kind of similar, but I do like frame 2 on slide 15. So when you open up this 8th grade PE jam, you will see, maybe, I have all the jams open right now. I'm sure you guys probably do too. The badminton assessment is there. I think that might be the same one as the last one, but frame 2 and 3 I tried to get a little creative. So one of the assessments I saw was picking an adult lifetime activity. So I thought they could list it in the star and talk about the barriers. So I put 3 barriers where they could add their sticky on top. And then I was looking at the health triangle. I think that's what it's called. Forgive me if I'm wrong. And they could talk about a physical benefit of that activity, a social health, and a mental health benefit. So it's kind of like a brainstorming jam, which would lead them to frame 3 where they have to put that into words. So I was just thinking in my mind, it would be neat. They can brainstorm on frame 2, hit frame 3, insert a text box, and then take those thoughts and put them into words. It's kind of how I was thinking about it. So again, that template on frame 2 came from Canva, a free link from Canva. And the last PE one, and then we'll have some time to chat because I know your classes are starting. This is another thing that changed my life. This is an external, if you don't have like, and there's a resource video that's 25 minutes and, you know, in all of your free time, please take the time to check out that video. If you want to see how to draw in real time, one of my health teachers at CCG said, can you please find me a tool that I can draw with, like a whiteboard, that the kids can see? It's really hard to use that draw tool with a trackpad, like on a Chromebook or on a MacBook. Mine always ends up looking sloppy. I bought this external pen tablet on Amazon for $40. I know a lot of people are spending money right now, so that's why I wanted to plug this. If you wanted to use school funds, you plug it into your MacBook or your Chromebook, so students can use it too. My kids have been using it. USB, and then it has a pen, and you can write on Jamboard. So like math teachers could do problems, you could draw on, you know, different reproductive systems if you wanted to. So I was trying to think of ways you could use it with your synchronous classes. You would be able to do that with your synchronous classes. I have to say, so far in 2021, it's the best $40 I've spent thus far on something for school. So I wanted to plug that. So if you're interested in that, I didn't have time to show it today. There's a 25-minute video. If you just want to look at that tool, it's around 6 minutes and 30 seconds to see options on how you can use that tool. Or if you have like an iPad you're plugging into your MacBook, I'm not sure how your classes are set up, you can also use a stylus on an iPad to do this as well without having to buy the external pen tablet as well. So slide 17 is some resources. There's the tutorial. Best 25 minutes that I've spent in the month of March. So I had to stop it and go play. Definitely worth your time. That's where I got all of these ideas. I put a link to some free Jamboard templates that this teacher has created. Some of them are ELA heavy, but I felt like a lot of what we were doing in health lended itself to that planning and that Venn diagramming. So I threw that on there. A link to Canva. There's the link to the pen tablet if you wanted to poke around with that. Woo! Okay, so I've done a lot of talking. I did put on slide 18, if you want to share a few ideas. I know someone's already shared one. I will stick them in here. I did put a playbook drawing for PE. I thought that was really creative. Like if you were doing, it looked kind of like what I visualize as like a football play kind of thing. If you wanted to use that for PE on the virtual part, I threw that as my implementation idea. And I think we have like 2 minutes left before you guys have to go. Did anyone else have an idea you might want to share with the group? And I'll stick it in there. What is the login? So Raymond, what I used is sign in with Google. And that should work. If not, I use my school email because then I think there was a link where you just put that you were an educator and wanted the free version, but that should work.
Is that through the app or go through like a desktop?
I've never tried the app, so I've always used my desktop.
Because I have the app on the phone. I've been told that that's a great way to doctor up and dress you up your Twitter feeds and stuff like that. So
get out of town. I didn't even know it had an app.
Yeah, it's got an app. It's an app.
See, look at there. I love learning new things.
And if you're at CC Griffin, you tell them health teachers to get busy.
I will. Don't worry.
I know Keith Clark and Daniel Jenkins don't do nothing.
Well, they did. I know. I felt so bad they couldn't come today. The staff meeting literally was scheduled early this week, and they were like, "Send me the recording." I was like, "Yeah, what's up with that?" Anyone else have any good ideas? I'm going to add that. And you guys tell me if it would be helpful for me to create like some little student how-to videos for you guys to post. I don't mind doing that. Just quick little YouTube videos on how they can use these tools. You know, if that's something that will help you guys, you know, I'm all for that. Okay. Are there any, so I saw where she said, yes, please. Would it be helpful just to show like maybe like an introductory video to Jamboard and the tools, and then maybe a little video on how to add images? Keep it short videos, or do one bigger video with all the things?
I would think shorter videos because kids' attention span is
Yeah.
not very good.
Okay. So I'm going to put short videos for students. We can knock that out. Anybody else have an integration idea they may be thinking about? That I can add to our little list? All right. Well, I'm going to hang out here. If you need anything, I know you guys are getting ready for your day. Wanted to have you out of here by 8:30 so you could get ready. Thank you for putting up with my fast talking, and I'll hang out here if you guys need anything. Otherwise, thank you, and I hope you got something you can use.
I appreciate it.
Thank
Y'all
you.
have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Tell Clark, go Pirates.
I will.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Look at, oh my goodness, my kids love some Look It. I'll
Love
stick
it.
that on there.
Love it. And the you know, the pre-made lessons are really good. I mean, you have to look through them and, you know, kind of filter it based on what you have taught them too. But I went to make my own, and I'm like, this one, I mean, there's a ton of them, like, especially for the drug unit.
What a great resource. I hate everybody. A lot of people have popped off. I didn't even realize that I didn't even make that connection that they might have some things.
Oh
for
yeah,
helping.
they have all the, like, anything you type in there, like you put in discover and you put in the topic, tons of, I've done it with, I just did it with the drug unit, but they love it. I mean, they love it. And they're learning something. I mean, and then it also gives us a chance to, they're playing, but you know, they'll say,
Sure.
well, I don't know that question, or I don't, so it like gives us a chance to like visit that topic and then discuss it. And then we're discussing with everybody, but they're keep playing.
Yeah, my 5th grader comes home and plays for hours, like just for fun. And you know, I try to get them off the screen, but at the same time, at least it's not Fortnite. At least it's educational.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
thank you. I will, when I send this back out to the group, I'll make sure I plug that, because that's a really great resource.
I also found I needed something kind of in a pinch, and I wanted to play a game, but I didn't want to do the Book It because I didn't want them on the computer again, because I try to keep them off it as much as I can. It was a Jeopardy game. Like I went to kind of make my own. Before you would write it on the board, make up your own like flashcards and all that, but I had to be able to show it virtually. So I just put in Jeopardy game, and it popped up all the questions, tobacco, alcohol. It was all already there, all, and you had 2 teams that kept the score. It was
that's cool.
yeah, it was good.
And what was the name of it?
It just was, just type in, let's see.
I was going to add that to my implementation ideas for everybody.
It's tobacco, let's see, jeopardylabs.com.
Jeopardy. Okay.
And you can, once you click on it, you can embed it, you can download it, you can print it, like, so however you wanted to use it,
Very cool. I threw that on the slide as well. Awesome.
All right. I was going to ask, so Nisus, we didn't pre-register, right? I wouldn't.
I don't know. I sent the link out to my teachers a month. Like, I've been kind of sending it out every week. So you may have, but if for some reason you're not registered, I'll automatically register you based on our attendance.
Okay. Cause I think we did. I think Bethany Gregory had us pre-register, but that I don't remember that.
Right. Yeah, all good.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.